Alright, welcome back to Algebra. We are looking at inequalities. I'm kind of grouping 2-1 and 2-2 together because I just feel that kind of makes sense. First thing you might write down in your notes, well, after you've titled them, I have a little reference here of how these arrows kind of follow the graph. Let's see, I actually have this put together here. So, if we've got inequalities, this sign means less than, okay? The smaller side, like this side right here, the smaller side is where there's less. The bigger side, this is wide open, right? So that's greater on this side. So then, since we read from left to right, this sign means greater than. So x is greater than something over here. Now here are some terms very important for you to write down, highlight. At most, no more than. Those terms are easy to confuse because here we read more or most, and we think, oh yeah, that means greater. But at most means that it can't be more than that. No more than, it can't be more than that. So it has to be less than or equal to. Okay, at least, also one that's easily confused, and no less than. So make sure you highlight those in your notes. At least means it has to be that much or more, so it's greater than or equal to that amount. Now for the graph, if it's less than, it means it can't be that particular number. So we make an empty circle, an open circle, if it's less than, because it can't be that number. Same thing for greater than, it's an open circle, it can't be that number. If we say x is greater than 3, then it can't be 3, right? Then 3 goes here. It is not 3, so there's an empty circle. There's no solution there, but all the values to the right of 3, like 4 and 5 and 6, all those are part of the solution. At most, right, means less than or equal, but that means it could be equal to. So we have a closed circle going to the left to all the values less than that. All right, now this is important that the variable, when you have these signs, if you want to follow the sign of the graph, notice that the inequality sign is kind of like an arrow here, right? Points in that direction. That only works if the variable is on the left. Very important, highlight that in your notes. If you want to follow the sign, like somebody might have told you before, you can do that. It only works if the variable is on the left side. All right, we want to write a sentence as an inequality. Okay, so here we have a number w minus 3.5. All right, so we can write w minus 3.5 is less than or equal to. Okay, this one's easy. Less than or equal to negative 2. Okay, then we have 3 is less than a number n plus 5. Now notice that here the variable's on the right side, so when you were to graph this, you can't follow that sign unless you flip it around. 0 is greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, twice. Twice means 2 times. Twice a number x. 2 times a number x, 2x, plus 1. All right. Now, when we solve an inequality, we solve it just like it was an equation. So, if I want to get x by itself, I would have to add 12 to each side. Add 12, and then we get x is greater than or equal to 20. Now when I graph that, I put my solution in the middle and then a number to the left, number to the right. Now I've got to determine, is this an open or closed circle? Can it be 20? Yes, it's going to be equal to 20. So it's a closed circle. 20 is part of the solution, so I can put a dot there. It is greater than, so all the values greater than. Now I can always check my solution, so I can plug in 21 here for x. Is 21 greater than or equal to 20? Yes, 21 is greater than 20. All right. M plus 19, if we want to solve by subtracting, If I'm doing plus 19, I need to do the inverse operation. That means minus 19. Cancel this out. M is greater than 37. Now 37, again, in the middle of my graph, one number to the left, one number to the right. Notice that my variable's on the left side, so I can follow this sign. I know that the arrow is going to point that way. But if I know that means greater than, that means 37 is not a solution, so empty circle right there. But all the values greater than 37. So go over here, and then I can check. Plug in something in this area right here where the arrow is pointing. Say 38. Is 38 greater than 37? 38 is greater than 37, so check. If I have a variable on both sides, we're going to still use the same procedure that we did for equations. Subtract, and I still recommend subtract the smaller variable. 3a cancels out. Now we have 6 is less than or equal to 1a. Now notice I can't just follow this sign. My arrow is not going to point that way. Why? Think about it. Where is the variable? The variable is on the right side. So if I read from the variable, a is greater than 6. Right? If I was to graph this, I put 6 on the graph. And then here's 7. There's 5. It's or equal, so I put a closed circle. And now 6 is less than a. I could rewrite that this way around. A, I've got to flip the sign if I want to flip the a to the other side, is greater than or equal to 6. So now I know it goes this way. And then I can check my solution. Is 7 greater than or equal to 6? Yes. Okay, if I want to write an inequality from a graph, I'm going to look at this graph, say, okay, there is my target number, and then all these values are greater than that target number. So all these values represent the height restrictions h. Okay, so I'd say h, and then here's the target number, 48. Now I need to decide, is h greater than, less than, greater or equal, or less than or equal? Okay, well, 50 is part of the solution set, right? The arrow's over here. Is 50 greater than 48, or is it less than? 50 is greater than 48, so I'm going to say greater than. Now I need to determine, is it or equal? That's a closed circle, so you can be 48 inches or taller for right A. You can be 48 inches exactly, or you can be taller. H is greater than or equal to 48. This is right A. Right B. H is my variable. Now 52 is my target number, so I'll put that over here. And then I need to determine, are the values, the solution set, are they less than or are they greater than 52? Well, 50 is less than 52, so I have less than. Now I need to see, is it or equals? Well, notice that this circle right here is open. There's no solution at 52. So 52 is not part of the set, so it's just less than. You have to be shorter than 52 inches to ride on ride B. That's today's lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Good times in the Matherhood, and I'll see you in the next one.